Okay.
Shoot, got it? So left hand, it's going to be, we'll do sentimental first, sentimental style. So that's just a 1, 5, and 7, 8. 8, 9. That's pretty much it. You don't have to do exactly the same thing every time. So you can just do a... Doesn't matter. Left hand's not so important right now. And then you flow onto the right hand. This was the first little trick. We're just doing a... So in the key of C, it's just a B, C, G, which is basically the 7 of the C. When you change to the A minor, see what happens there, it becomes the 9 of the A minor. When you go to the D minor, it becomes like the 6th note of the 6th and the 7th of the D minor. Okay, that was the first little trick. I just went to the 6th just to make it sound interesting because it's boring otherwise. Next trick is just to move this right hand. So we're going to go to a C, we're going to follow it along. C, A minor, and then we can leave that there, then the D minor. These are Ds. So I just went up to the D there. To a G. Back to the C. D minor. Next trick is the thirds. Remember the thirds? Like... You can do anything, but just land near the chord. Then you mix it up. Alright. And then we'll mix it up to do something a little bit faster with block chords. My left hand is just doing like a bass 1-5. So this is a C minor, this is a C9. And I've taught you the G13, so the G13 is like that. You don't have to use that. If you don't want to use that, just do just a G7 will do. Now you've got the basics, so basically adding the B and the D for all the C's, so in C. And you can do it in any of the... anywhere along, in the versions of it. Tricks are all the same, so this is the same. B, this A minor here, which is adding the B and the G. And then we did the octaves, the little jazz trick where they split it up. You can play anything you want. And then finally, when you can do the same chords, but you do it up here, and you do it like in a sort of like a very jazzy zone. And just that. And then tomorrow we will do connecting chords. Okay, I'll finish off with connecting chords. So once you've done that, then you want to connect the chords. This is a bit boring after all, right? You're like, oh, okay, I got it. So you practice this, you go, oh yeah, I got it. Then you want to just mix it up a bit. Then you chord, and then you have connectors. You can use the fifth chord to connect to the chord. So here we are in C. We're doing C. I want to go to A minor. I'll just do an E7 to get to A minor. Then I'll use an A7 to get to the D minor. There's D minor. Then goes to a G13. C again. Use a fifth to get to the A minor. That's an E7. A7, D minor, and then to the G7.
So it's the fifth note of the next chord.
Yes, remember in classical they have the dominant chord?
Oh yeah.
The dominant chord in classical is like this when they teach you. You go. Remember? Resolve. No, it's the same for minor, right? So in jazz it's the same. So if you want to go any chord that you're trying to go to, you can chuck the fifth chord in there. So if you're in C, you want to go to A minor, you use the E7. See?
So use the seventh chord of the fifth.
Yeah. But it's not the major 7, it's a 7. So not this chord. It's E major 7. It's just an E7. Just a straightforward E7 with a D. This is where your classical is the same as classical, so that's the sound that you get. You can use it for anything. And then what happens in jazz, which I'll teach you after you pick up the basics, is that you change the fifth chord. That's where the beauty comes. That's when magic happens. So you go, instead of going like this, and then the fifth chord will be. So the whole thing about jazz is 2-5-1. So you got the 2 chord, you got the 5 chord, you got the 1 chord. Okay? Now what happens in jazz is that it gets a bit boring, and we want everything to be a bit more interesting. So instead of playing the straightforward 5, we just change the 5 to diminished. Diminished chord. See? You hear that? Then you got more, you got G. Then you can just do this. These are crazy. See, alternate fifths? That's alternate fifth. There's just triads. So you already know this. So your right hand's playing like an A flat, your left hand's playing a G7, and then you end up with a C.
He's trying to get a hold of us. He's intercoming from upstairs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's for another day, Claire.
Wait, for the how do you why did you go to a D?
Which one?
Like when you play like that of the D minor.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah, why
That
do
one?
you go there?
You don't have to. You could be anything. You can. That's the thing. You can play anything you want. But like, C, it says C. You could go down to the A minor instead. Doesn't matter.
So it's of the chords that you're playing.
Yeah. Okay. So one thing in jazz is that if you're taking some jazz principles into like gospel, the whatever chord you're playing at that stage is your key.
Okay.
So you forget about keys.
Okay.
So you know how in classical, like, I'm playing in C major, so everything's in C major. But in jazz, it's not like that. That's why you get all these accidentals, accidentals so called, because when I'm playing in C in jazz, if I'm here, then I go to an A minor in jazz. I might as well be in A minor now. See, I'm in A minor now. Then I'm gonna go to like the D minor. I'm in D
so
minor.
it's like the things you play.
It's like the key
in
signature is
key
changing every single
of
time.
the chord, like every time you change your chord.
That's right. So you. So I'm in. So if I'm in C. I'm in A minor now. See this B. See in C major, you're not. That's a very minorish thing. So you go. So even when you're improvising with your right hand, you're changing key. See, this is actually A minor chord. But I'm playing in C, so called. So I'm in C, so forget about the key. See? See? I'm in A minor. See? And then we're in D minor. I've forgotten, see, it's like a goldfish. I just keep changing. I'm in F minor. B flat. E major 7. I'm in C minor now. I'm in B flat minor. E7 to an A major 7. I'm in G major. See, doesn't matter. G minor to a C7. Now I'm in F. That's when in jazz you're listening to it like, where are we now? You know? We don't know where we are. But all the same principles apply wherever you are. You still got your 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1. And we finish on a D flat. That's why, because you have all the scales already, it makes it easier for you. Because you already
Forgot all my scales.
well, you have all the keys, so you already know roughly, and then you practice it. Once you practice it, then you already know. I mean, not that like you don't have to know them perfectly, but because in jazz, when you're playing when I'm playing gospel song, the key, right? Doesn't matter what key I'm in, you can hit any of the chords. So you're playing, I worship you, Almighty God. There is none like you. I worship you, O Prince of Peace. That is what I long to do. See? So it doesn't, you don't have to.
Are your bass chords playing the chords of the song, or are they also?
Well, I'm just doing alternate fifths. So I'm just, well, left hand and right hand are doing the same thing, so there's this little trick. So if you're, like I said, if you're doing Almighty God, some of them are just joining chords. So you're not landing on them, you're just using them to join two chords together. So one little trick is like little, if you're going from one note to another, you can just use, okay, so just give you one example before we finish. So like, if you want to go from a C to an F, right, you just go, la, 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 la. That's what you normally do, right? La, 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 la. that was a fifth. This is an alternate fifth for. So I'm just playing like a G flat 7 to get to an F. So okay, so basically it's like a C7 to an F. Remember the 5-1?
Mm-hmm.
5-1. It's a bit boring. Sounds very old-fashioned. So you changed it to a. This is a G flat 7. 1. That's an alternate fifth. It's an alternative fifth chord. Instead of playing the C7, the typical C7, the jazz version of that is to play. It's the same. So remember the 3rd and the 7th. They're there. Instead of playing C as a bass, you play G flat as your bass. You get this chord.
So it's like the flat 5th.
It's the. Yes. So the flat of the 5th. So. No. It's. You got to think in terms of F. Where is it from F? So it's just the semitone up semitone up 7. Okay. It's easier to think about it from C. So instead of like that, you go. Sorry.
Oh, so it's like, okay.
Sorry. Whoops. And then you want to do a D flat 7. Because this is the same. The common thing between G and the. See? They have the same notes. So if you just change that to a D flat, it becomes a different chord. It becomes like that. But the jazz sound is like this. Anyway, my point was, actually, in the middle of playing, you're using that thing to get to an F. So F is like this. Oops. So this is the chord. So what you're doing there is you see, remember the change keys? When you change keys. So see, but you just do it 1 second and it's gone. La 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 la. Yeah. La 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 la. That's it. So, all right. So. What you should practice is the 2-5-1s. D minor 9. 5. G13. 1.
Okay.
C9. Then you do it for every key. That's the trick. Like I said, in jazz, when you're playing a song, doesn't matter what song you're in, you're actually going to play every key anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter what key you're in. So you could be playing in E flat, but you can play any. You could use any of the chords. You could use any key, any chords. You understand? Because you're like everything's just flowing everywhere. You just join the 5s with the 1s, and then you go alternate 5s and everything. So you could be playing any key. So to practice, you actually have to practice all the keys. Otherwise, you're not going to do very well with jazz. Because you'll be stuck on your. In jazz, you're going to be doing. That was the same thing, but it's just all different chords. So then you do. So you practice. The good thing to practice is like. You have to work this one out. Back to the C. And then you can do it. Then you can just do different inversions.
It's kind of just a lot of stuff.